So recently I've been traveling a lot, which means lots of language learning and lots of app testing. So today we're returning some findings and comparing two of the most renowned language applications in the world, Babbel versus Duolingo. What do they do, what are the differences, and how can they help you learn a language? Sound interesting? Then keep on watching. Before we get started, let's take a quick step back and take a look at what Babbel and Duolingo actually are. So on a very basic level, these two applications have taken the materials that you used to find in books and CDs and built them into apps. Now, although this sounds simple, the advantages are huge because they can track your progress, keep you focused with reminders, and show you the words that you previously got wrong. And the biggest advantage of all is they're accessible 24 hours a day because you can carry them around in the palm of your hand. Cool. But do they actually help you learn a language? Yes and no. Both of these applications are great for beginners because they're cheap, easy to use, and they teach you the absolute basics. So if you have no previous knowledge of the language and want to get started, these are two great options to try. However, they're slightly limited and are only going to help you reach a certain level. So if you have dreams of downloading Duolingo and becoming fluent, dream again. Because neither Babbel nor Duolingo give you any actual interaction with native speakers. So it's like trying to teach somebody to swim but never actually setting foot in the water. So, how are they different? I think a big reason that Babbel has tens, whereas Duolingo has hundreds of millions of downloads, is the fact that it's free. Whereas Babbel gives you one free lesson, and after that it's approximately €10 a month, which in fairness is still a lot cheaper than most other materials on the market. Duolingo appeals to the masses because it's gamified languages. So you start at the bottom of the game, and by remembering words and phrases, you work your way to the top. And on the way you win shields, lingots, owls, and other Lord of the Rings sounding stuff. So on the one hand, this is awesome because it essentially gets people addicted.
The precious lingots.
On the other hand, it's slightly restricting because you can't jump from one place to the next. You have to unlock the levels. But what is sure is that if you like a game, swapping Candy Crush for Duolingo is probably quite a good shout. Babbel is a lot more standard in terms of its design, but it offers lots of flexibility. You can jump back and forth as you need, and if you already have some working knowledge of the language, jump to the bit you want and no time wasted. So there are lots of things we could say and big words that we could use here, but essentially the two apps do a fairly similar thing by showing you a series of vocab phrases and grammar over and over again until you remember it. They make you study small chunks daily as opposed to cramming, and they do this in the most entertaining and encouraging way possible so that you don't get bored. So I think the fun design of Duolingo is also reflected in the content. They're often criticised by serious language learners for teaching useless phrases. Fair enough. With that said, if you're just learning for fun, maybe it'll make you giggle and it will stick in your head better, so voila! Now Babbel's more serious design is also reflected in their more serious content. They go into a lot more depth on cultural aspects, grammatical structures, and there's overall more focus on the language as opposed to the game. And one small but very important point is that they use native speakers as opposed to robot voices.
C'est une jolie photo.
Which I personally find much more helpful. But does that make it worth the money? It depends. However, if I stop sitting on the fence and giving my personal recommendation, here is what I would do. So if you're a complete beginner and just going for a weekend away, you want to learn some words and phrases and a little bit of fun, I'd go with Duolingo. It's fun, easy, and it's free. €0. However, if you really have aspirations of becoming conversational or fluent, I would sign up to something like Babbel, because it's going to give you more structure, more flexibility, and potentially a more serious learning experience. So guys and girls, I hope you found this useful, and if you want more language tips, tricks, and randomness, subscribe!